This is Lagoon Radio.
It's the Rev'd show with Sonny Irapo on Lagoon Online Best Radio.
Drug free Nigeria show. Nigeria show. We too good for drugs. I beg you make una stop and drug free Nigeria show. Nigeria show. We too good for drugs. I beg you make una stop and let's take our youth from all forms of drug abuse. Oh. We are the leaders of today and tomorrow. We are brighter stars with brighter future. You have to understand the good is good and the bad can kill. The Rev'd show tells you the truth, so to get free, listen to the Rev'd show on Lagoon Radio, the best online radio. Let's take our youth from drugs. 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 Let's take our youth from drugs.
The Rev'd show with Sonny Irapo on Lagoon Radio every Monday 5 to 6 p.m.
This is Lagoon Radio.
My story changer. You are the greatest promoter. The Atanaru, you never fail. Organama mierue, mierue. Ile, sele, okay. Iye. I cannot explain how you did this. When I look at my life, I see your favor. When I look around me, I feel your presence. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. Okay, now, okay. My story changer, greater promoter. Atanaru, you never fail. Baganama mierue. Mierue. Hiba. Destiny restaurant. Abati yakole daduro. Odogu. You never fail. Baganama mierue. I cannot explain how you did this. When I look at my life, I see your favor. When I look around me, I feel your presence. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. Hear it. Okay. Oya Christi.
Asena bogi chukwu kedu kandu mugadi. Ewe sugagi chim olebe kamga nota. Chimebi mere madindu na rekele mjiri bia. Ebube ligwe na rekele sinobi mbia. Ana na sunwa onye na-enye ndụ, onye na-ebuli elu, ina gwari agwiye kpatara ya. Ọ dịghị onye dịka gị, ebube mbekumbe m.
Organama mierue. As you turn my life around, I cannot explain no. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. If promotion is from a man, nobody will promote me. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. Jehovah overdo. I thank you, oh. If Nama they give life, I for don't die before today. Jehovah overdo. I thank you,
Jehovah overdo, we thank you, we've been holding it down, with solo Urete on your number one non-stop gospel radio, broadcasting live from the Diocese and Palace, from the city of Lagos, Nigeria. You are welcome to DFN show. How na day? I don't miss on now. Well. This is your boy, Sonny Irabo, holding it down today on DFN show. Anywhere you've been listening to us, from US and any parts of the world, I want to thank all my friends for all the messages that we've been receiving. Thank you so much. All you need to do right now is to stay with us, because the show is coming to you live from the Diocesan Palace in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. Once again, we want to welcome you to the DFN show. You can be part of the show by simply visiting www.LagoonRadio.Ng so that you can be part of the show. Better still, you can hook up with us across all our social media platforms, on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria. You know, all you need to do is to be part of this conversation. Once again, we want to welcome you, especially to the show. When I'm back from this musical break, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be continuing with the DFN show, because we have a lot of gist that I'm bringing to you live from the show. Stay tuned.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Soba be red. That one is coming from Chidima. Yes, Laye Arunko Soba be red. Welcome back from that musical break. Anywhere you are, this is your show, the DFN show. You know, on DFN show, it's all about sensitization. It's all about bringing information to you. It's all about how we can curb the issue of drug abuse, on how we can cut the issue of drug abuse amongst young people. You agree with me that it is a menace and it is a responsibility to make sure that this issue of drugs is addressed. If not, our society will be baited into anarchy. So the essential is basically to sensitize, is basically to educate people on the dangers of drug abuse. When information is handy, you will be able to live a better life. So on DFN show, we bring information that leads to transformation. And when you have it at your disposal, mistakes will be far from you. So once again, we are welcoming you to this show. On the show today, we shall be discussing something that is disheartening. Something that is happening is something that has happened, and some of us, we are not happy about it, and that is why we are here to talk to us about this issue. What is the issue? Before I dive into the issue, let me appreciate my father, who is always there to make sure that the voice of young people is heard, provided you have a gift, provided you have a talent that you want to showcase to the world. All you need to do is to talk to him. He's going to give you a platform. Who am I talking about? The most Reverend Dr. Humphrey Bamishebi Olumakaiye, our diocesan and missioner himself. He's been there supporting young people with drive, with passion for nation building. And you think if you have what it takes, you have skills, you have talent, you have vision, and you want the world to hear about it, why not come? He's going to give you a platform. So my daddy, my father, my bishop, I'm saying thank you so much for always giving us the opportunity to reach out to everyone out there on this issue of national and international importance. As we speak to you, I know the havoc this drug thing is doing to young people. So for somebody like you to say, hey, why allowing this drug to kill our young people or to derail them from the original plan of God, will continue to support people like us. And we want to sincerely say thank you for giving us this platform to reach out to everybody out there. No, before we went to that break, I said I'm going to give you a hot gist. And what is the gist today? Is all about, I'm going to be talking to parents on this issue. What is the issue? A whole family, as I speak with you today, a whole family is consumed with drug abuse and addiction, starting from the elders to the least in the family. As I speak with you, they are already in psycho state. As I speak with you, the parent doesn't know what to do again, because drug abuse is what is consuming the family right now. And as I always tell people, don't start, because if you start, it will consume you. So the issue of drugs is something that have to do with every one of us fighting it. And this issue that I'm talking to you today is all about a family who has engaged in the issue of drugs, particularly the elders in the family. He started with taking of drugs. The ones following him, he introduced them into it. And today, as I speak with you, the whole family now is being consumed, and parent doesn't know what to do, because they feel that maybe they are mature, they are enjoying their lives. Why must you allow your world to die while you are still alive, watching them to die in your hands? So a story of this family is very pathetic. And I want to say to everybody listening to me today on this show that it is our responsibility to make sure that everybody that is staying around us, check on them. Do not just say it doesn't concern you, because it will. By the time they begin to creep into your homes, stealing your properties for them to feel that habit, you will know that it concerns you. So this family matter, I think every one of us have to look into it, because the family is important as far as nation building is concerned. You cannot build a family, you cannot build a nation without first of all building the family. And if you neglect the family line, it means the society, our community will be ravaged, will be destroyed as a result of drugs. So if this family is presently passing through this as a result of the havoc drug abuse have done, it means something is lacking. What is lacking? parental care, parental responsibility, it is no longer there. And that is what I'm bringing to you on this show. That parents, gone are those days when you think your family is just you and I. It is no longer so. When some of us grew up, or when we were growing up, we were made to understand that a child belongs to the community, belongs to everybody. It is not the responsibility of the father or the parent alone to take care of the child. But today, such is no longer the norms. Such is no longer the way that we used to. So what is happening to us? What is happening to our values? What is happening to our parental care? So on this show today, I want to basically address the parents and their responsibility, the things that you need to do. Because at the end of the day, you will be the one to sing Had I Know as a song. When I'm back from this musical break, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with the show. And I want every parent to listen to me. What you need to do is to, if you don't have the Lagoon Radio on your phone, quickly, now, download it from the Google Play Store, Apple Store, so that you can listen to us live on the show and make your contribution. And you know you can contribute on the social media platforms, or you listen to us live via our official website. When I'm back from this musical break, we continue with the FN show. Go nowhere.
This is Lagoon Radio.
It's the FN show with Sonny Irapo on Lagoon Online Bet Radio.
Drug-free Nigeria show. Nigeria show. We too good for drugs. I beg you make una stop am. Drug-free Nigeria show. Nigeria show. We too good for drugs. I beg you make una stop am. Let's take our views from all forms of drug abuse. Oh. We are the leaders of today and tomorrow. We are better start with brighter future. You have to understand the good is good and the bad can kill. The FN show tells you the truth, so to get free, listen to the FN show on Lagoon Radio, the best online radio. Let's take our youth from drugs. 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 Let's take our youth from drugs.
The FN show with Sonny Irapo on Lagoon Radio.
This
every Monday,
is
5 to
Lagoon
6
Radio.
p.m.
Let's take our youth from drugs. Welcome back from that musical break. You know that is our theme song. We want to welcome you back to the show. You know, before we went on that break, we were telling you about the story of a family who is ravaged in drugs right now. Drug abuse is consuming a whole family as I speak to you. And it is not a story that is pleasing to the ears. After you have suffered as a mother, you carry the pregnancy for 9 months, you nurture your children to become adults, and in that state you are watching them to die. You don't longer pay attention to them. So on DFN show, I'm talking to parents, and I'm going to tell you the things that you need to watch out for when your kids or your children are exhibiting such character. That is when you begin to question them. You begin to call them to order before it gets out of hand, or else it is you that will suffer from it. So parents, your responsibility is not just for you to give birth to those children. Your primary responsibility is to make sure that you train those children, is to nurture them according to the way of the Lord. For some of us who are Christian, we've been told that the responsibility is to nurture, is to train those children in the way of the Lord. And if you are not doing that, it means you are failing in your responsibility. How will you look at your children? In the morning, they wake up, they look so unkempt, you can't ask them any question. In the morning, they wake up, before you know, they stroll out. Can't you ask them, where are you going, around 6 a.m. in the morning? In the afternoon, the same thing. In the evening, around 6, 7 p.m., they are up again, and you cannot challenge them. You cannot say, my son, what is happening? What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are your friends? You seal them with a lot of friends, and you cannot question. You cannot say, what kind of friends are you keeping? You are no longer there, exacting or exhibiting that parental responsibility. You give them freedom. You think they've grown, so you can no longer question them. Over liberalization can kill. I must tell you that over liberalization can kill. It is key that you exert some control over your children. Know what for those that are still in the primary, in the secondary school, when they are back from school, check their bags. Ask them questions. Look at their eyes. Look at them critically. Examine, look at their bags. Look at, are they performing? Is performance dropping? For those that are in school, when performance is dropping, your boy that was up there academically, before you know performance is dropping, it means something is happening. So you need to properly look at what is happening around them. Don't just feel that they've grown up. You pay deaf ears to them. Look at the family that are brought to you today. As I speak to you, those families are suffering. They are crying for help. Who will help them? Do you know what it takes to rehabilitate? For just a month, do you know how much it costs? And upon rehabilitation, doesn't mean that you'll be well. So we are appealing to every parent that your primary responsibility is to make sure that these kids that God has given to you, you train them, you look after them. And for those that have grown, you must ensure that you also put an eye on them. Because our people say, what an old man see sitting down, a young boy climbing a Iroko tree cannot see it. So based on your experiences in life, you'll be able to nurture us, you'll be able to guide us on the path to go. Because you as parents, your functions, your primary responsibility, your functions are key in nurturing these children to become better citizens. And once you don't give that primary role, you don't tell them what to do, it means you are deviating. So what you need to watch out for as parents, you must ensure that your children are living up to expectation. The one that you've trained them in the way of the Lord, once you see them deviating, they no longer go to church with you, you know that something is going on. Changing of friends, you should understand that something is going on. Today, they use a smartphone. Tomorrow, they change to another smartphone. You should understand that something is going on. As I've told you, when their eyes is red, sometimes their eyes is dropping water. Water is just gushing out from their eyes. You should know that something is going on. So it is your responsibility as parents to put an eye on these kids, to make sure that they live well. Because if you decided to blind your mind against them, you'll be the one to also face the consequences. They will point at you that you are the parent. It means you have failed in your responsibility. So on DFN show, our responsibility is to make sure that we bring all this information to you. Better still, you can be part of this conversation. All you need to do is to hook up with us on our social media platform on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are out there. Drop your messages and you can send it across and we'll be glad to read from you. So parents, your responsibility is to make sure you train those children. Put an eye on them. Question them when you see some unfriendly friends coming around them. Friends that are looking so tattered. Question such friends. Let him or her know that you are still the parent. Because you have an experience. Life is all about experience. But sometimes if you wait for you to get that experience, it might be negative. So when you teach us these things, you bring them to us, will be able to live well as a people. So our responsibility is to make sure that we give attention to all our kids. Not just our kids, but the kids around our surroundings, our environment. When I was opening, I told you that when we were growing up, we were trained as a community child. It is not our parents alone that trains us. Once my parents they are not around and we did something that is wrong, they will spank us before our parent comes from wherever they are. And that is how we should live as a people. We should not live because the moral decadence, the decay that we are experiencing today is too pronounced for we to fold our arms. Because if we do, Nigeria will not progress. Nigeria needs every one of us to progress, especially the young people. Over 70% of our population are youth, are young people. These are people that are supposed to be contributing to the growth and development of a country. And we cannot afford to lose them. We cannot afford to close our eyes and say they should just live the way they should. No. We must exert some measure. We must exhibit some control in order for them to live a better life. When I'm back from this musical break, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with the DFS show on your number one non-stop gospel radio.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Sammy Oboso, Mike Abdul, and Bidemi Olauba on this one. Mikey.
Hey, are you there?
I'm here.
Greet your neighbor.
I don't shut that, calm down.
Not the package, the dance for God. Yeah. La, la, la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Come on, buddy, John. No, the package, the dance for God. Come on, buddy, John. No, the package, the dance for God. Come on, buddy. Move. Come on, buddy, John. No, the package, the dance for God. Come on, buddy. John. No, the Mike Abdul.
Are you dancing or what? 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 Come back. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Breath body don't feel. Come on, buddy. Now so everybody move your body, come on, body. Push your hands up in the air. Push your hands in the air. No hands okay. In the air. Push your hands in the air. In the air. No hands okay. In the air. Move your body. Move your body. Move your body. Move your body. Come on, body. Oh yeah. Move your body. Aye. Woo.
Beat them me. What does the Bible say?
The Bible says he has turned my morning into dancing. In the presence of the Lord, forming and packaging is not allowed. Only of your Lord, one go bear one shall I? A shooting a problem. I just lose that. Wow. One be you to buy Jesus. Diamond. I got Jesus.
Come on, buddy, John. No, the package, the dance for God. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy, John. No, the package, the dance for God. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy, John. No, the package, the dance for God. Come on. Everybody now. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. For the things it's done for you, you have to praise right now. For the things it's done for you, you have to dance right now. For the things it's done for you, come on, you have to praise right now. All the feelings, you have to dance right now. Tell me what you're gonna do. I give the praise. Ooh. I give the praise. Yeah. I give the praise. What you gonna do? I give the praise. Come on, what you gonna do? I give the praise. What you gonna do? I give the praise. What you gonna do? Come on, buddy. No, they package the dance for God. Come on, buddy. Come on. Move. No, they package the dance for God. Everybody. Come on, buddy. Come on. For the things it's done for you, you have to praise right now. For the things it's done for you, you have to dance right now. For the things it's done for you, want to praise.
holding it down on DFN show with Samuel Poso. Samuel Poso, come on, but not the form. Enjoying the vibes of Samuel Poso featuring Mike Abdul and Bidemi Olaoba. Come up, but they make the form. Well, all we need to do, we must appreciate this Jehovah God because He has given us life. Why not use that same life to thank Him? Nice one there, Sammy. Always bringing it to us very hot, very hot. Before we went to that break, we've been discussing the issue of a family right now. From the elders to the least right now, the issue of drugs it has crippled them as I speak. They're already experiencing psychosis, And as I'm always telling people on this show, that once it comes to addiction, it is a terrible disease. It is a brain disease, and is a 3-generation disease. So why must you allow yourself to be destroyed by drugs as a result of failure of parental care and responsibility? So on DFN show, we are telling parents that irrespective of the class that you belong, make sure that your children be your primary focus and concern. Because God will question you. God is going to ask you that the children I gave to you, how did you raise them? Now, the family right now, they are running helter-skelter in order for them to solve this problem. How? Where would they start from? And on this show, I gave a story of a woman who called me from Ogun State lamenting for the son, the only son this woman has. You know what happened? Same drug matter. The boy who's supposed to be in school never knew that he has left school, engaged himself in drugs, and today